You know that meme that goes, "Can I copy your homework?" Yeah, sure, you can. Just change it up a little bit so people don't know you copied. Yeah, that's what Samsung did with the A17. Except they copied themselves. They took the A16 and just changed it up a little bit. Welcome to the Galaxy A17 review. This video could be 2 minutes long because Samsung didn't change much. They made maybe 3 or 4 changes, and honestly, most of them are small changes. The first change has to do with this phone's look and feel. Samsung updated the look of this phone's camera module. The A16 had individual camera rings, but the A17 has the new updated singular camera module. Samsung also introduced some new colors. Last year we had grey, blue and green. This year, green and blue have been replaced with a different shade of blue and with black. Blue is the color to go with, in my opinion. So yeah, this phone looks different, but it also feels different. It's slimmer, like noticeably slimmer, and it's lighter by about 10 grams. I think a lot of people would notice the changes Samsung made to the look and feel of this phone. So because of that, I would call this change a big one. This phone's display, on the other hand, didn't get any big changes. The A17 still has the same 6.7-inch 1080p AMOLED display, which, to be fair, is very fine. This is very much the standard for a $150 smartphone. You can say there's nothing to change. But then, there are other things about this display that they could have changed. Exhibit A would be the notch. Basically, every other phone at this price, for years now, have had a hole punch cutout. But we're still stuck with this old-fashioned U-shaped notch. Most of the phones at this price also have a refresh rate of 120 Hz. The A17 still has a 90 Hz refresh rate. We can also even talk about the chin on this phone. It could be smaller. So there are changes that they could have made, but just chose not to. The only change they made, though, is upping this phone's display protection. The A17 has Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus protection, which is cool. Really cool, actually. But it's also not a change that most people would notice or even care about. The display, by the way, is fine. It might not have the best specs out there, but at its core, it's still a good display. Everyone who uses this screen, as long as they don't mind the bezels and the notch, would be satisfied with it. You're also probably going to be satisfied with this phone's performance. But it's also the most annoying thing about this phone to me. I'm annoyed because for 3 straight years, Samsung has used the exact same processor, the Helio G99. It's a fine processor for the price, alright? It would handle all of your basic smartphone needs. It's also still comparable to other processors on other budget phones, so it's not a bad chipset. But it's just annoying that they've used the same chipset for 3 years straight. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think of Samsung's choice in the comments. The third change they made is in the camera department. The camera specs, for the most part, stayed the same, except for the addition of OIS to the main camera. OIS helps counteract camera shake, so you don't have to stay completely still when taking photos to get sharp images, and you also don't have to stay completely still when shooting videos. It's one of those features that you don't know you need until you know you need it. I tested this phone's camera, and yeah, just like the A16, in ideal lighting conditions, this phone would handle things like detail, dynamic range, skin tones quite well. And then in not so ideal lighting conditions, it would sometimes struggle. That's typical at this price point. I don't have the A16 with me to do a side-by-side comparison, but I would like to think video stabilization is significantly better on the A17. The footage from it should be noticeably more stable than the A16. I'm tempted to call this change a big one because I think it's something people would notice, but I'm going to say no. It's not a big change, but it is the third change. Software is the fourth and final change. The A17 comes out the box with One UI 7 and Android 15, and with it comes some new features. The Now bar is one of them, super useful for timers and music playback. Gemini is another. I don't really use assistants, but if you do, you would appreciate this feature. And then there's Circle to Search, probably my favorite AI feature. Like I always say, I think every smartphone should have this feature. Now, the thing is, the Galaxy A16 has all of these features. It got all of them with the One UI 7 update. So if the Galaxy A16 has all of these features, why am I then counting software as a change? Well, it's because the A17 gets 1 extra year of software updates. It's going to get 6 in total, just like the A16, but because the A16 is 1 year older, it would get 1 less than the A17. It's definitely not a big change, but technically it kind of is. We're going to wrap up the video in a little bit, but real quick, I just wanted to talk to you guys about today's sponsor, Airtel. You see, I used to have to go outside every once in a while when I needed to send a large file or upload a YouTube video, because my internet connection at times is just really slow when I'm in the house. I thought that was weird, so I googled it and it turns out it's an actual thing. Your internet tends to be slower when you're indoors. To fix that though, I got the new Airtel 5G Smart Connect. It comes with 2 different units, one that would stay outdoors and connect directly to outdoor signals, and one that would stay indoors that you can connect to with your phones, laptops, and TVs. Both units talk to each other through this cable, and they work together to give you a much stronger, reliable connection when you're indoors. So now I no longer have to leave the house to get faster connection, which is really nice. Another benefit of the Airtel 5G Smart Connect is that with 25,000 Naira, you get unlimited data. So I can upload as many YouTube videos as I want, my siblings can watch as many movies as they want, without worrying about data finishing. Oh, and in the first month, you get that unlimited data for free. If you could relate to my indoor internet struggles, then I highly recommend checking out the new Airtel 5G Smart Connect. Just head out to the nearest Airtel office to you and pick one up. Okay, now back to the video. The last thing to talk about would be battery and charging. The A17 has the exact same specs as the A16, a 5000 mAh battery and support for 25-watt wired charging. Just like the A16, we also don't get a charging adapter in the box, only a Type-C to Type-C cable. And remember, to get those 25-watt charging speeds, you would need to get an original 25-watt or higher Samsung charging adapter. Because if you use just any charger, it would take significantly longer to juice up this phone. As for battery life, this would last you all day on light to medium use, and then about 7 to 9 hours on heavy days. Its battery life is fine. Like I said in the intro, Samsung just took the A16 and tweaked it a little bit. They made very little changes. And that would have been great if there were no changes to be made. But there are. This phone has only 1 speaker. Most of the phones at this price have 2. This phone has a hybrid SIM tray. So if you have 2 SIM cards, you can't use an SD card without giving up one of your SIMs. This phone doesn't have the headphone jack. They could have brought it back. This phone's notch should not be U-shaped. It should be a cutout. They should have upped the refresh rate. They should have used a new processor. They could have made charging faster. They could have added a native screen recorder or the always-on display feature. Very clearly, there are things they could have improved on. They could have made way more changes to at least keep up with the competition, but they didn't. Probably because they know they would still sell a lot of these phones. The A14, A15, A16, they all sold really well. They all made the top 10 global best-selling list, and the A17 probably would too. In conclusion, I would say that the Galaxy A17 is a pretty good phone. It's very much lacking in a lot of ways, but if you're a big fan of Samsung phones and possibly One UI, or you're just looking for a phone that offers a bit more stability and longevity, and your budget is about $150 or 210,000 Naira, then it would make sense to pick up this phone. If you have the A16 or even the A15, you should definitely skip this one. And hopefully, Samsung makes more changes on the A18. Anyway, that's about it. That's my review of the Samsung Galaxy A17. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you when you see me.